You're back again, which means you like the ratchetness. You're here for some R&R, which is okay. That's real ratchetness. I don't want to brag, but I feel like I did a pretty good blowout on my hair. I don't want to brag, but I feel like I did. You're probably wondering why I'm wearing the same outfit that I was wearing last week for my intro. That's because I got smart and decided to film 2 intros in not one shot. Technically it was 2 shots because it was 2 intros. 2 birds with 1 stone? No, it still would have been 2 stones, right? Anyway, I'm happy that you're here. You supporting my channel means everything to me. So thank you. And one of my favorite things to do is read the comments. So 90% of the time you will get a reply to your comment. Let me know your thoughts. I love reading feedback because at the end of the day, my channel is for you. So I want you to be happy. Without further ado, let's get right into my tutorial. I love you so much. Thank you for being here. Besitos. Welcome to my tutorial. This tutorial is on how to ombre rhinestones. So we are going to move very quickly through the first part of the tutorial. If you guys have never rhinestoned before and you guys want to know how to rhinestone a tumbler from beginning to end with step-by-step instructions, please click the link that you see on the top right of the screen, and that's going to take you straight to a beginner video. We're going to kind of move through the rest of the tumbler pretty quickly, just because I've done a very decent amount of rhinestone tutorials, and I don't want to be so redundant for someone who's just here to learn about the ombre. So that's why we're moving a little bit quickly. I do want to let you guys know that I am using clear, transparent rhinestones. They're glass from Flynn Sister Supply Shop. I do have a discount code for you guys if you guys want to save a little bit of moolah on your rhinestones. And I'm very excited because this is actually my first ombre that I had done. I did do quite a bit of research. I asked my friends that Bling for some tips, and Nikki at Nikki's Knacks helped me through this a lot. So Nikki, big shout out to you. Thank you so much. Guys, I'm really excited because while I was in the middle of this tutorial, I received a package from the Crystal Ninja. Oh, she's an icon. So I'm going to be using my crystal katana for the rest of this video, and I'm going to be giving you a little review on what I think about it in comparison to another, regular pickup tool, wax tool. Okay. So the first thing I want to tell you about an ombre, if you notice, I did the top part of my rhinestones and the bottom part of my rhinestones, but I kind of left a big section in between. You want to do this because you're going to cascade your crystal AB up into the black section, and you're going to cascade your black rhinestones down into the silver part. Now, the best advice that I can give you, and I hope I do a good job of explaining this, baddies, is you want to spread out rhinestones the way that you see me doing here. You don't want to put them too close together because you want to give yourself room to add or remove whatever color rhinestones you need as you go. So here I'm just establishing the foundation. So what you see me doing is I'm using my tool, my little silicone tip pen, to apply glue to certain areas. And a very good tip that I feel like made my ombre look really good is I made sure that the deeper I got towards the silver, the smaller that my rhinestones got. For me, that was like my way of slowly, blending the black into the silver without it being super overwhelming or look like there was just stones out of place. So my crystal AB, I did the same thing. I cascaded them going up into the black, and the higher up I got, the smaller my stone got. And I just kind of did random sporadic little areas. You can see me here. I'm going back to the other side. I'm going to go ahead and just take my crystal AB, and I'm going to start, in the center where the 2 colors meet. And I'm just going to kind of, section out, space out some crystals, and that crystal AB that I'm going to cascade up into the black, I'm just going to make sure I'm leaving, decent spaces in between them, making sure I'm using multiple size stones because I am doing a scatter method. So I want to make sure that I'm using different sizes. And like I mentioned before, I want to be super thorough just so you can walk away from this video completely understanding what you need to do. You're going to start right in the center of your ombre with where your two colors meet, and you're going to cascade your black stones up into the silver part of the tumbler. And, you know, starting in the same center, you're going to cascade your crystal AB up into the black section. Now, the further into the silver that you get, the smaller that you want your rhinestones to get. The further up into the black that you get, the smaller that you want your crystal AB stones to get. And I feel like that gives you a really pretty, like, dissolving, fading effect, therefore helping you create a pretty nice, ombre. By placing your black stones in the silver section and placing your silver stones in the black section, you're just creating a guide. You're creating a guide for reference so that you know where your ombre is going to meet. And when you start blinging the rest of that crystal AB up towards the center and you start bringing those black rhinestones down to the center, you're going to know, okay, this is where they're supposed to mesh together, and you're going to know that you've got to start spreading them out. For me personally, and I'm sure there's lots of different methods, guys, and there really is never a wrong or right way, especially with crafting. There's lots of different methods to do things, and as long as you have a beautiful result at the end, then all methods work, in my personal opinion. So I'm not sure, I'm sure other people do it differently, but I really thought that laying down this foundation helped me so much and gave me a visual of where my ombre was going to start and where it was going to end, so that I knew exactly where to start meshing both colors once I brought them down. I'm going to take you through a little time lapse of me bringing the rest of my stones down towards the center, and then we're going to go in deep again, and I'm going to show you how I kind of placed my stones once I got to the center. Hopefully, when you walk away from this video, you're going to feel really confident and you're going to be able to make your very own rhinestone ombre. Let me tell you right now, it is so much less scary and intimidating to do it than it is to think about it, because I think a rhinestone ombre is the one thing I had not tried before. I was so intimidated by it. No matter how much I looked at cups, I just couldn't understand. I would confuse myself. And really, once I got in there, it was not as hard as it seems. I want to show you what it looks like once it's dry. You can see, like, this is just, see how it already starting to kind of look like an ombre, but it's establishing where the two colors are going to meet. I'm telling you right now, doing that guide really helped me visualize, and that I'm a visual learner. So I think being able to kind of set a guide before actually just going in and meeting them in the center was really, really helpful. Now, I know that I'm fast forwarding and doing time lapses with the regular blinging. Like I mentioned it before, I will go ahead and link the video up at the top right now if you guys want to learn from, you know, start to finish how to bling. But for those of you who are here for the ombre specifically, I really want to make sure that I'm focusing on that. Now, I want to get as close as I can to give you a good visual. Now, what I'm doing here is just applying my glue in between the stones. I will still continue to add some more black into the silver area and some more silver into the black area, because I want everything to mesh and blend well. And if those were the only, you know, the little guide that I did, if those were the only black stones I had in the silver section or vice versa, that would not have been enough to provide a nice ombre. It would look like I just randomly scattered black stones in the silver section. What you want to avoid when you're doing your ombre is you want to avoid any straight lines. You don't want your black rhinestones to go in a straight line to where it doesn't look blended. Just like if you were doing a glitter ombre, you want to make sure that you have plenty of both colors in the middle section. So whenever I was placing my black rhinestones and I saw, okay, it's starting to look like I'm doing a straight line, I would take a crystal AB and place it in that section just to break up the black rhinestones, and make sure that I wasn't, you know, having any straight lines. I wanted to make sure that I had like a little, would weaving be the right word? Like, no, weaving wouldn't be the right word. But I wanted to make sure that I was scattering my stones and combining both colors to make sure that I didn't have a straight line. And I even went back and I was once I was done, not completely done, but I would do a section and then I would look back and I would be like, ooh, this is starting to look like it's not blending. So I would pull a black stone off and put a little, you know, because if you do it right away before your glue dries, you're totally fine. But I would go up and I would be like, ooh, I definitely need to pull one black stone off here and replace it with a crystal AB. And once you look at it as you're working, you're going to be able to see if they're blending good or they're not. But at the end of the day, as long as you are making sure that you're not bunching up too many black stones or too many crystal AB stones to where it starts to look like it's going to be a straight line of one color, you know, just kind of weave them in and out and make sure that they look scattered like this, like there's no particular order. You just want to do like a little scatter method of both. And, you know, take a moment, pull the tumbler back, look at it, make sure that you like the way it's looking. You know, if you feel like you did too much black in one section or you feel like you did too much AB in one section, go ahead and take an X-Acto knife and pop off a stone here and there where you need to and place the opposite color just to break up that little cluster or that little section. I think these colors blended really well together. And as you can see, you know, going up into that black section, you can see how the sizes start to get smaller and it just kind of looks like a more flawless transition, so that the further up into the black, you don't have this just random big crystal AB stone that looks like it's out of place. Because, you know, that's the number one thing, is you want to make sure that it doesn't look like you just placed stones by accident in the wrong area. You want to make it very obvious that it's meant to cascade up into that opposite color. I really think that you will accomplish that by making sure that your stones are bigger in the middle section and then they cascade in smaller sizes up, okay? And I hate to sound so redundant, but I just want to explain it one more time because I really want you to walk away from this video confident that you are going to be able to attempt a rhinestone ombre. Now, in this section where both of the colors meet, you want to make sure that right there is where you have the biggest stones. So like, for example, the crystal AB, the further up into the black that you go, the smaller that you want your stone to get. And that black stone, the further down into that crystal AB that you go, the smaller that you want your black stones to look. And that is going to that's going to give it like this cascade little, you know, blending effect, where you're not going to look at it and be like, wow, that kind of just looks like she accidentally put a silver stone all the way up at the top by accident. It's going to look like it wasn't, you know, accidental, and you've got this really beautiful, almost like they're dissolving up into the next color. I just thought that it helped blend them a little bit more gracefully. So that's my tip that I'm going to give you, and it might not be the kind of tip that you like. I'm just kidding. Hey, in my defense, when I upload my YouTube videos, I do put that they're not for children so that they don't pop on kids' Kindles, and I'm like, I'm not their Kindles, but I mean their iPads. But look how beautiful that looks, right? Like, see how the further into the black you get, the more discreet that those pretty silver stones look, and vice versa. I had so much fun placing this, and I was a little nervous when I was doing the ombre part. I'm not gonna lie, but like I said, just as long as you are intertwining them and kind of weaving them, zigzagging them, making sure that you don't have one straight line of black or one straight line of crystal AB, you're making sure that it's looking like a cluster of a mixture of both stones in the center, you should be fine. And here you're going to see me still add both colors. I had two paper plates off to the side, and I was grabbing from the black and from the crystal AB and placing whatever color I felt needed to go in a specific section. Another tip that I can give you that hopefully will help you is feel free to take a screenshot of my tumbler. At the end, I'm going to show you the entire tumbler when it's finished. Feel free to pause the screen and take a screenshot, and you're welcome to print that out and have it next to you when you're bringing those two colors together in the center, and just use it as a guide. You know, if you want to see where I placed what stones in what color, you can try to mimic as close as possible. I know a lot of us are very visual learners, so even if you remember the instructions that I gave you, you still need a visual. Like I mentioned before, Nikki from Nikki's Knacks helped me a lot, gave me lots of pointers, and she sent me a picture of one of her rhinestone ombres, and I kept going back to that to use it as a guide just to make sure that I was blending the colors correctly. So feel free to take a screenshot of the tumbler and use it as a guide if you need to. If you guys have any questions, drop them below and I will do my best to come back and answer them for you. And again, thank you so much for always supporting my channel, always coming back to watch my YouTube videos. And I really hope that you walked away from this learning something new or learning a new tip so that you can try this at home. If you create your first rhinestone ombre using this tutorial, please tag me on Instagram. I would love to see your work. And thank you so much for watching. Until next time, besitos!